Hi, this is Jonathan Baumgart, the CEO of Atomic Consulting. So the topic for today's video is Vanuatu. I'll be speaking about setting up a license here, providing my thoughts on the region, briefly discussing the procedure, and filling you in on what I think you should know about obtaining a license for a Forex broker in Vanuatu. So to start, the regulator in Vanuatu is known as the VFSC, which is short for the Vanuatu Financial Securities Commission. Basically, they're the local regulatory body that oversees all regulation of, in this case, foreign exchange, but they can also cover basically any asset like stocks or bonds. But I would say the majority of the licenses they grant are for the foreign exchange or Forex trading. So that's going to be the topic here. So the regulator has been around, I would say, or at least been known for the last 5 to 7 years. That's really when Vanuatu took off. Most likely they had some financial or regulatory regime beforehand, but the region really wasn't discovered or promoted, like many of the offshore places. And I would say most people probably have never heard of Vanuatu before this, or places like Seychelles, Belize, Mauritius. They tend to be a little esoteric only because they are some of the few places in the offshore community that will offer a license for FX activities and provide many of the features that brokers look for, like leverage and market making capabilities, which I'll get into. So in terms of applying for a license, we have another article and video on this subject, but a major advantage to Vanuatu right now is that no local director or physical office are required. You do need to maintain a registered office address, but for right now that could be a virtual type of address, meaning you don't have to physically have an office there. So what's needed to obtain a license in Vanuatu? Well, the first thing is capital. So there really are no regions left where no capital is required. In the case of Vanuatu, at the moment, and as of this video recording, it's a $50,000 bond, which is slightly different from capital. If you'd like to learn more about what this bond is and how it works, I would encourage you to contact us. If you go to the description part of our video, you'll find our contact details there. So the capital is $50,000. In terms of the license itself, as mentioned, no office is needed. No local director is required at this stage, although that is subject to change. So what else is needed? You also are required to have indemnity insurance. Once again, if you wanted to know more about the requirements, you can contact us for specifics, but be aware of that. Along with the indemnity insurance, the basic process for a license application applies. Our team will need to know about the structure of your company. So you'll have to tell us the type of company you want. You'll have to provide us a list of all the shareholders and directors, along with all of their KYC. KYC, for those who are new, stands for Know Your Client, and that simply is the list of documentation that would be required for any license or for a bank account, basically to do anything financial. That means a certified or apostilled copy of an ID or passport, the same for a proof of residence, such as a utility bill or banking statement. In the case of licenses, though, a little more is needed. So generally, we need to see a CV of the appointed directors, and they should have experience in financial services. If they don't, they should come from a financial background, which means some type of university education with a diploma to prove it in the area of financial services. So it can be an economics degree, finance, accounting, something in this realm. It's a bit problematic, not just for the VFSC, but any regulator, if the directors have no experience in financial services and no background. Generally, these directors won't be approved. And it's common sense. If you want to be a director of a licensed financial services company, you need to prove to the regulator that you have this experience. Otherwise, the regulator won't feel confident approving your firm because you won't have the ability to run it. I mean, to use an analogy, you wouldn't want to get into an airplane if the pilots didn't have a license and the necessary flying time. So the same happens here for not just Vanuatu, but all regulation. So once we have the complete document bundle, meaning all of your appointed directors, a listing of the shareholders, along with some other documents that we require, we then begin the application process. We will then communicate with your team to provide you feedback regarding the status, and we will prepare all the documentation needed. You know, what I always mention is a major advantage in working with us is that we do much more than just apply for the license. We draft all documentation, we assist your firm with banking, we will provide you guidance with accounting and other reporting obligations that you'll have once you're granted the license. In essence, we offer the complete package. So that's one of the reasons to consider working with us versus our competition, is we're very transparent in terms of what we offer. Furthermore, our price quotes always contain a full set price. We don't split things up and do them on an hourly basis. We like to be very transparent and say, for this amount, that's what you're going to get. So in terms of the advantages of Vanuatu, you may be wondering, why many brokers incorporate here. Well, first, market making permissions are available in Vanuatu. You can also do STP as well, or a hybrid, but the main attraction would be the market making activities. This is much desired, but generally only available at a reasonable, let's say, rate with offshore companies. What I mean by reasonable is it's also possible to do this in Europe, but the capital requirements and reporting are much higher. So there's far less capital costs and red tape with not just Vanuatu, but most offshore licenses. In addition, there's no cap on leverage as of this recording, meaning you can offer whatever you want. You can offer money management services to your clients. All of that is possible with this license. So those are the main attractions to obtaining a license in Vanuatu. What are some of the limitations that we come across? So when we speak with our clients, and if you wanted a more in-depth discussion, please contact us. You'll find our contact details in the description. But we always like to level with our clients and explain the pros and cons of each region. I always mention, and I've done some videos on this, every license comes with trade-offs. There's no ideal license. So in terms of Vanuatu, the banking is not its strong side. So you have to go in expecting that you're not going to get the kind of banking you would have in Europe or other parts of the world. Also on the PSP or payment side, it is possible for us to recommend some PSPs, but you have to go in expecting above market rates. The reason is Vanuatu is viewed by many PSPs as a higher risk area, and you have to accept that this is the case. Why? Just because it's not a European regulator. It's still better than having no license, because the truth is getting decent banking in a PSP is just about impossible without a license. So this is the next step. With that in mind, I don't think Vanuatu should be the last license that any broker gets. It's a very good starting place though. If you want to obtain some type of license and you want to do this on a budget that allows for marketing and other ways to grow your brokerage, this is the ideal region to obtain a license. If your firm comes with a large backing of investors, I would encourage you to maybe get this license as a backup or secondary and consider a license in Europe, such as a CISIC license or an FCA license. But in most cases, the clients we talk to are brokers that are just starting, so the costs and savings are more important, which makes Vanuatu an ideal option. but just keep in mind the trade-offs. So that's a very basic overview. The process is much more detailed. The purpose of the video here is just to give you the basics that you need to move forward. If you would like a more in-depth consultation, if you wish to ask more questions or discuss our fees, please don't hesitate to contact us. I'm the CEO. I can arrange a call with you based on what you are looking to do and your specific needs. So thank you very much for watching this video about Vanuatu. I'm Jonathan Baumgart, the CEO, and I look forward to speaking with you soon. Thank you.